Don't worry, the December storms haven't changed the landscape of Chesil this much. I know you clicked on a video hoping to see a fish-filled session at Abbotsbury, and that is to come, I promise. However, thanks to some strong southwesterlies on the day we had earmarked for a Chesil trip, we decided to give Poole Harbour a go for some winter flounder first. This would be until later in the afternoon, where we'd have a slight weather gap making Chesil just about fishable, which you'll see later on. Hello, welcome back to Seasmith, welcome back to another video. We're down at Poole Harbour this time. A bit of a last minute planned session actually. The original plan was to fish Chesil Beach today, but we've got some really strong winds coming up this afternoon. In fact now actually, which is kind of what we're facing. So we decided to shelter in Poole Harbour for a little bit, try for the flounder for a few hours before moving on and fishing the weather window that we've got at Chesil later this evening. So here we are, I'm back with Darren, fresh from our Minehead trip, all rejuvenated and freshened up bait-wise and energy-wise, and we're down to have a go. Now, I must say, it's probably not the best flounder conditions. It is a little bit chopped up, but you never know. We're at an ebb tide, so all the water behind us here obviously is starting to flood out. Plan is that any flounder, any fish that are up this side of the harbour, towards the River Frome in that direction, bit of a pinch point here between us and that next, there's an island just over there. We can hopefully catch them on some of our worm baits. Fishing simple 2-hook flappers with fairly small ragworm baits that I actually dug a couple of days ago at Poole Harbour, or down Poole Harbour, the bottom end of Poole Harbour that is. Now most likely I'm expecting probably bass in these conditions with the slightly roughed up, churned up water, but if we can find a winter flounder to kick off the flounder season for us, that would be ideal. I haven't caught one towards the end of the year yet. I had a few towards the start, but this is the first time I actually really properly tried for them towards the end of the year into the winter season. So it would be nice. It'd be nice to tick one off. We're only going to be here for three or so hours maybe before we move on to Chesil. This is the first time Darren's fished this spot. First time you fished Poole Harbour actually, isn't it?
Yeah.
Obviously first time going for the flounder too. So if you could tick off a fair few new things in one session, that'd be great.
Gotta have a go, haven't we?
That's it. As I said, the ideal would have been to fish Chesil all day, but it just, in these winds, southwesterly winds, is not going to be the best or the most comfortable fishing conditions at Chesil. But about 6 p.m. later, it's turning to kind of northwesterlies, and the wind's dying down a little bit, so it will be fishable. Hopefully Chesil should be quite good fishing, especially just immediately after it's had that big blow up. There we go. We're fishing. Okay, I'm going to bring my left rod in, the one that's been in the longest, about 20 minutes, just to make sure we aren't getting crabbed out. Because if we are, we're going to have to shorten the cast to like 10-15 minutes ago. Wow, that's not a good sign. Well, that is not what we wanted to see. That's been out there for 20 minutes. Both hooks are completely stripped. So we're going to have to try and fish amongst these crabs now, I think, if that's what it is. The line is, there's no fray on the line, so all right, let's get them out, see what else we can do. Me and Darren were just saying, after a really tough session at the Bristol Channel, I say tough because we didn't catch the fish that we were really after. We caught some fish, we caught some nice fish, but for a big trip like that.
If I was after dogfish, it was a good session.
Well, yeah, if we were after dogfish, it was good. But no, we had some all right eels. We had that little pollock and bits and bobs, but it was nothing that we couldn't really have caught down this way fairly easy. So it felt a little bit disappointing.
I just don't think it wasn't us. It just wasn't
I don't
fishing.
think it was us. So, well, we've seen obviously loads of reports on Facebook, and they had a match, I think, that same weekend on the Sunday, the day that we left. It doesn't look like that. I mean, there was the odd fish that came out across the whole coastline, which there always is. Some decent fish, but it seemed that it was pretty quiet at the Bristol Channel that weekend. And yeah, as Darren said, there's not much that I feel I would have done differently. It's just fishing. That's how it is sometimes. But with that being said, put a lot of effort into that. Put a lot of effort in terms of just bait, the driving, the money, everything. And yeah, we do feel like, I don't like to say we deserve a fish actually. I want to stop saying that because you deserve what you get at the end of the day. But we would like some good fish today.
Well, didn't get crabbed out there.
Decent. Okay. So it looks like actually it might not be the crab. Some of the bait's recently been coming back all right still, but we could still scratch something out there, you never know. Big 3-pound flounder, that'd be lovely, wouldn't it? With the weather continuing to bear down on us and no sign of any fish, we decided to cut our losses and continue our trip up to Chesil. Once parked and on the shingle, we were greeted with an extremely powerful looking sea. With the early pack up, meaning we had some time to kill before the conditions calm, we got busy preparing cocktail baits for the night's fishing. Right guys, we are down Chesil Beach, we are down Abbotsbury. We're the only two lunatics on the beach. I love that. So when we got down, it was proper blowing a gale. Still quite fairly southwesterly winds, but literally in the last 5 minutes, the winds have completely dropped off, which was forecast. That's what we were hoping for. And we've got this weather window now, probably about 8-9 hours, where the winds have turned northwesterly. They've quietened right off, died right down, and you can already tell the sea is following that trend as well, and the sea should be calming down as well. But we've spent the last 30 minutes or so just prepping cocktail baits, getting everything set up. It's been quite nice to get down Chesil actually and have a bit of time. Normally I get down and it's a race to get the rods in the water and you're excited, but you know, it was unfishable. I mean, Darren managed to get his shelter up, but I've got the Bigaloo down here, which is obviously, for those that know it, it's a big old piece of tent. There was no way I was getting that very easy in the wind.
More experienced angler would have got it up, right? So.
Right, I'm going to count how many dogfish he gets tonight. Dogfish Darren, Doggy Darren over here.
You're going to have all loads of time to count that fish, are you?
But yes, we are here, we're very much prepped. We've got some really great bait. Just picked up some black lug, sure. We've got blow lug, we've got, oh yeah, hang on, where is it? Look at this for a bit of cod candy. A lovely, nice black lug. Oh. And I've just tipped it off with a bit of squids. I mean, that is, in terms of cod baits, in my opinion, although actually, nearly all the cod I've had come on ragworm. But yeah, that is a nice bait. I'm going to be chucking that out on a 2-hook clip down rig, and then I've got a pulley pennel on a wire trace. In fact, the same rigs I was using at Bristol Channel last week, they're getting sent out with a mackerel squids cocktail.
Is that the rigs that you managed to keep, not the ones you lost?
I can wipe that sentence you just said because I'm going to edit it out. But yes, that was one of the few rigs that I managed to hold back from a very, very snaggy Porlock weir.
It was grim, wasn't it?
Hey?
It was grim.
It was difficult. It was difficult. But that's last week. It's a new week. It's a new session. I'm really excited. I'm always optimistic when I start off a session. Sometimes wrongly so. Sometimes rightly though. Sometimes it really pays off. And I think we worked hard to make tonight work in terms of getting the baits right, a bit of patience, and we've got this really nice spot of a sweet spot, a weather window, where we should be able to get some really good fishing in straight after the beach has been completely churned up. So yeah, we're here to fish. I'm not going, again, like I was doing at the Bristol Channel, I'm not really going for a, what's that, that's your...
Squid and mackerel wrap.
Another squid and mackerel wrap that Darren's sticking out. Is that a pulley pennel, is it?
Yeah. 4 O's.
4 O's.
See if I can get away with the 4 O's. I've got some 6 O's tied up, but...
Yeah, I think I've got 6 O's on mine, to be honest.
It's not the good thing about these Geminis is you can actually clip them on before you
yeah, it's good, isn't it? They literally stay on.
Wish I had these last week.
Yeah, they're good. We're here guys, we're going to fish it hard, and no scratching rigs tonight. There's no kind of small hooks going out, which most of the time at Chesil this year, that's what I've been doing. I've had a big rod out and a small rod, but we're going quite big hooks. I've got 3 O's on my 2-hook clip down flapper rig, and then I've got a 6-0 pulley pennel set up with a wire trace. So fairly big hooks. You know, I'm not looking for, you'll catch less fish doing that, but the fish that you catch can be bigger and better. That being said, you can catch a big fish on a small hook, but I don't want to spend all night, you know, taking whiting off the hooks and little fish. So yeah, that's the plan. I think it's about time to get rods in the water, isn't it?
Definitely.
Let's do it. So Darren's just challenged me to say the first person who catches a dogfish tonight owes the other one a $5. So I've suggested I'm going to keep my rods out of the water for a little bit, wait for him to catch one, because I can guarantee he's going to do it.
No, what we said was whoever catches the dogfish first owes the other a $5.
That's what I said, wasn't it?
And then you decided that you were going to be a bit of a melt and go, well, I'm keeping my rods out of the water.
Well, I'm just playing tactical, mate, because I know you're guaranteed to catch one. So if I just wait for you to do it.
But if we go off all Chesil trips, you've caught way more dogs at Chesil than I have.
That's not true.
First time we came down with Johnny and that's all you had.
Prove it.
The video.
Shut up. Right, I'm ready.
Same.
Let's do it.
Let's do it.
I am far too optimistic. No, rightly so. Rightly optimistic. This is prime conditions right now. Prime bait, prime conditions. Let's go blank.
Wait a minute.
Huh?
You can't be putting your rod in before I do.
I don't know what you said.
It's always cheating him, isn't he? Always getting his rod in before me. Bit of cash right over me as well.
Mate, it's a long way down.
Eh?
That was a long way down. Start fishing Bristol again.
I've just noticed.
Yeah, for those that haven't been down yet, Abbotsbury, with all the storms. Oh Christ, I'm blowing. It's right. That's the most line I've ever had out on this rod, I'm not gonna lie. Woo. Yeah, it's proper flattened off the beach as the shingle. And we did set up really high. Sorry, we set up really high to get out of the way of the swells that were coming up earlier in the winds. But now that they've calmed off, we're kind of okay. So I think we're going to move down a little bit, make this walk a little bit more, or a little less intense. All right, let's get ourselves sorted, shall we? Well, first blood goes to me, but not what I would have wanted. Dog on. There he is. He's quite a small dogfish actually. And he took a 6-0 hook with a mackerel squid cocktail. But there we go. The fish are here and they're feeding. To be fair, that was in the water for no longer 5-10 minutes, which is reassuring. Right, we'll get him back, get this rebaited, get it back out there. Still some big swells coming in, so bite detection. I've totally just put some bait in my eye. Yeah, bite detection is going to be a little bit difficult, but as long as I can keep the lines out of the shingle, which I'm kind of managing to do. Obviously we're still fishing, we had a dogfish, then yeah, we should be all right. Hopefully as these winds, I mean they've really eased off now. This is just a lot of residual swell that's still in the water. So hopefully as the evening kind of goes on, it will fade out a little bit. I'm going to use this time now to get some more cocktail baits made up and make sure we're fishing proper, fishing hard. Now we have been fishing. I've got that dogfish in the bag of course, but there's still, yeah, it's in the bag. I haven't blanked, still can say I've never blanked at Chesil. But there's still quite a bit of residual swell, so we kind of anticipated, it's only about 8 PM now, and the best of the fishing is going to be kind of later tonight, and we are after cod really, that's what we want, or codling. Well, cod, we want a cod, we want a proper fish.
Oh, I'm having a cod, mate.
Yeah.
You can have your ling.
I'll have a ling. But yeah, low tide isn't until later in the middle of the night, or actually like 3-4 AM actually, and with the closer, with Chesil, the cod normally come low tide, is the best time to fish for them. So rather than kind of deal with this swell that we've got, the winds are proper died off, everything's chilled out, which is good. We're just dealing with a bit of residual swell. The ebb tide starts at about 10, half 10, so that should help flatten things out, especially when we get a bit of slack water. So whilst this residual swell is kind of wasting time and we're wasting baits and the shingle's burying our rigs and stuff, which we don't want. We want to keep our good bait for later on when it's prime time fishing. We're going to get a bit of a casting competition. Now the
Competition?
well, you wanted to compete, didn't you? Or you just want to see how far you can cast?
Oh, I practice a pendulum.
We want to practice our casting then. Let's not call it a competition. Now
But it's a competition.
is that if he casts further, it's suddenly a competition. If he doesn't, he's
Then it's
practicing.
not, yeah.
Fair. But the inspiration for this, I saw Tom Bagnall of Christchurch Angling Centre's video. He was down Chesil actually, I think earlier this week, and he's got his £50 budget set up, and he cast down the same beach to see how far he can go. And 140 paces, I think he said. Yeah. So whatever that works out in, everyone's paces are a bit different. So we haven't got any official measures. We're going to have to do it by, I guess, paces as well. But yeah, it'll be interesting. I've never actually measured how far I can cast, and we do want to practice our pendulum, which we've been doing quite a bit. So I think let's start off with some just kind of easy overheads, just to see how far we can thump it. And then see if we can actually get any more distance by... what would be interesting if our technique is so bad on pendulums that we're actually like half the distance by overhead thumping at the moment.
It's not really the technique, well it is a technique for me, it's the...
timing with you, I think.
My angle's completely wrong. Yeah. If I'm aiming to go there, it's going that way.
Well, it'll be interesting to film it as well, so you can look back and say, all right, you can see it from an external point of view. But I think it'll be just fun to do. So the beach is completely clear. There's actually a couple of anglers that have pitched up kind of in front of the car park back there, but this stretch of the beach is pretty much empty to Portland way, so...
Can't cast that way, too dangerous to hit him.
Yeah, mate, you'll hit him about 500 metres away, won't you?
Yeah,
he's in the danger zone, of course. So yeah, let's have a go, have some fun.
Obviously I've got softer rods, so...
Excuses already. Mate, you're more than welcome to use my rod.
That's alright.
Oh, I just heard someone in Portland say ow.
Casted from here.
Yeah, I'll just go uphill a bit, try and get out of the way of yours.
Back you come, mate.
Alright guys, they're out, they've been cast. We're going to go by my paces and we'll see how far we've got. How many do you want to guess?
120?
More.
130?
More.
150?
184.
184 paces?
Yeah.
Decent.
Which is not bad going. I mean, that's not going to mean anything at all, but that's how we started. And there's the lead. I didn't get to see mine, to be fair, but mine's gone over the bank, so I'd love to have a proper measure to measure that out.
You can get one of them stick things.
There it is, here it is.
Where?
There you go. I would say though, mine's had to land higher up. So it would have carried on travelling if it was lower down where yours was.
It's not a bowl, mate, this doesn't fall down now.
Huh?
It's not a bowl, it doesn't roll down now like a golf ball.
No, but yours has got further to travel in the air. If I was casting on top of a hill,
why aren't you casting in a straight line then?
Because you told me to go left.
I told you to walk there, I didn't say cast there.
Right, let's bring them in. Right, bringing them back in. See if I've caught anything. Oh, I've got weight.
Yeah, I tied you around the log, mate.
Do you know what? I can't be asked to keep walking that back and forth. I'm just going to count the reels. I mean, right, if I work out what my reel retrieve rate is, then I can...
What you should have done is clipped on and seen if you can hit the clip with the pendulum.
Yeah, that's true actually, I should have done
So
that.
I might do an overhand cast, clip it on, and then practice pendulum after. And if you hit the clip, then you know that you're hitting the same distance as a normal cast. If
Yeah.
you're not.
Yeah, well, I didn't, so... Yeah, about 50 yards.
You reckon?
Right, let's give it a go. Stand back, I'm trying to pendulum. We'll see how this goes before I guarantee it goes on the internet. Okay, so that cast pretty much landed level with my overhead thump, but it was a little bit to the left, so a bit diagonal. So I'm going to try and release it a bit earlier. I'm going to count the reels to get this one in and then try and beat that. 92 reels. 92 reels to get that one back in, so that's what I'm trying to beat. I'm still trying to figure out what drop I'm comfortable with on my pendulum. Just testing out a few different ones, different lengths even. Felt okay. 1, 2, 3, 97. So I beat it by 5.
It took me for it, this pendulum cast.
So I was just saying to camera then, experimenting with different lengths, so what you're comfortable with based on your rod and your kind of feel. What I do is get one foot facing basically the sea,
Yeah.
and the other one facing that way. Once you're comfortable with the drop, imagine that's 12 o'clock. You want to swing it out kind of 11 o'clock.
Okay.
So there, back up, and then you'll feel it kind of, what in my head, I have to leave it longer than I naturally feel, because up here, that swing takes like quite a while, and you kind of want to go for it and smack it, but you'd need to kind of wait. When you're about to strike, you want to be in this position basically, so your rod tips down, and then you're kind of able to fling it that way. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I'll give it a try.
Very aware this is the blind leading the blind, but we're having a go.
Well, I didn't hit the clip.
Well, that's my straightest one so far. I can see the backing on my reel. I need to re-spool this. Right, that one felt good. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 108. That's probably my biggest ever cast, that. As the seas started to calm, our time practice casting soon came to an end, as it was now prime time to get baits back in the water and fish a Chesil sea that had calmed considerably. The next few hours of the session had been what the whole day had been leading up to, and we were keen to make the most of it. Luckily, it didn't take long for some fish to start showing again. Alright, well there's certainly fish out there. This has been in the water about 5-10 minutes after all that messing around we had casting. Decided to rebait and put some bait out there. And straight away, another dogfish. What do they say? Brown water, brown fish? There's definitely fish, but still hard going and not the culprits that we want. Not yet anyway. Tell you what, we don't pick the easy sessions, that's for sure. But it's part of the reason. I mean, everyone goes fishing for their own reasons. For me, I like the adventure, so sometimes it's nice to go and have a relaxed session down your local beach for a few hours, but for me, I really enjoy the kind of a bit of wild kind of fishing trips, the overnighters, the bigger seas, within, you know, within like safe limits, of course. I wouldn't do anything dangerous, but big seas, big fish, that's what we're after, and a bit of adventure. I would say though, I mean, if you've seen any of the videos that I've been putting out this year, I've fished Chesil quite a bit this year. And sometimes when it's been quite rough, like this, in fact, sometimes when it's even worse. One thing I would say, which is good practice, in fact, for any beach really, whenever you're sea fishing, definitely keep an eye on obviously what the swell and the waves are doing. What I often find myself doing, and it's a good practice to get into, is when you go to cast, just wait a little while to have a look at what the waves are doing. The waves will come in sets, and obviously if you've got storm swells or storm surge, that kind of stuff, then it can kind of push that tide even further. But you often get, you know, that kind of freak wave that pushes up the tide a little bit, especially at Chesil. So it's always good practice just before you cast, especially in kind of rough seas, just to hold back and wait, watch what the water's doing before you then move down and actually get close to the water's edge, and never get close enough to put yourself in danger. Like, yes, you can obviously get a few extra meters, a few extra yards on the cast, but it is just not worth it. I mean, we're set right back up here, nowhere near the tide line. We have moved our tripods down a little bit further, but still away from where the waves are kind of coming up. Keep it safe, of course. But it's about 10 o'clock now, so we're just about to come up to the slack tide, and then it will start ebbing out, which is hopefully going to help us with the swell a little bit. And the closer we get to that low tide, so we might start picking up some of the interesting fish that we're after. Now, we have seen a catch report from Ferrybridge of a 6-pound bass that's been caught tonight, which is one of them, like, oh. And in hindsight, and we didn't anticipate there being this much swell still, because, you know, the wind's completely calmed off. Where Abbotsbury obviously is completely flattened out, well, not completely, but the shingle is a lot smoother, and we haven't got the height close into the shoreline to cast above the, you know, keep your tripods above the waves like you might have had before we had the big storms. Whereas Ferrybridge, there's still a very big steep incline, so it's probably a lot easier to fish. But yeah, well done to that lad, whoever he is. 6-pound bass is not a bad fish at all. Hopefully, 6-pound cod's coming our way. You've got to be optimistic. As Darren likes to say, you've got to be in it to win it, and we're certainly in it.
It's called fishing, it's not called catching.
It's very true. Yeah, can't argue with that.
Not going to catch that at home either.
No, you've got more chance here with wet lines than you have. That's the thing, if we were like oohing and ahhing about coming to Chesil, and we were like, oh no, it looks a bit rough, let's not do it, and then we'd seen that catch report, we would be like, why didn't we go? Like, it's clearly unfishable, we could have caught some big fish, like, at least we're here doing it, and we've got every chance of getting something. Hopefully something that's not just a dogfish. Well, as we get closer to slack tide, we'll probably see a few more doggies on the bites. They do like to come out on slack water, but when that ebb starts, hopefully any dogfish bites will die off, and we'll start getting into cod, conger, some big congers. I wouldn't mind a huss as well, actually, a real nice bull huss.
Sounds like you're on supermarket sweet, mate.
It is a bit of that, isn't it? Supermarket sweet for fish. Go on, show the people your big old cod bait. Black lug and squid, eh?
Black lug and squid wrap. Big old sausage ready for a cod.
It's coming up to midnight, about, I think, 10 to midnight. So we're into the ebb tide now. But apart from some really nice shooting stars and a nice kind of half moon rise, whatever you want to call it, and it's been pretty fishless, other than a couple of dogfish. Just a Christmas cod would really kind of tick things off, I think. Would make this December month, which has been tough fishing, I can't lie. Yes, actually, I've had that bass. Which was that November or December? I can't remember now. But yeah, overall, I kind of really wanted to make the most of December before we get into kind of that January, February winter fishing time, which, as I'm sure we all know, can be really quite a depressing time of the year for fishing, for sea fishing anyway. We've still got tonight, we could still pull something out of the bag. And then I'm in Cornwall next week actually, and I have got a trip, a little session planned out there after some big eels and big huss. I already know the mark that I'm going to fish, so that could produce. And then I might be able to get away before New Year's actually. I might be able to sneak a session in at some point. See what the weather's doing really. That's going to kind of determine whether I can get out, as does for all of them, of course. But send that one out.
Sent.
Right guys, Darren has saved the day. It is no longer a dogfish video. He's pulled out a jumbo sized pouting. Look at that. Now that is a decent sized pouting. I've only ever had pouting that big off the boat, to be honest, mate.
That's a PB pouting, that.
Oh, 100%, mate. That's
Should we get a measure on it?
I think so, yeah. It's worth it. All right, there you go. Darren's just returning that pouting. It was about 36 centimetres, just shy of £2. So not a bad pouting, to be honest. Definitely Darren's PB. I don't want to get too excited about a pouting, but it is the best fish of the night so far. What I'm thinking though, if there's nice pouting about, there'll be some big conger about. But that's encouraging. That is encouraging. There's other fish. So let's get rebaited, see if we can find them. While Darren's catching all the good fish, I'll clear the seas of the dogfish for him. Third one for me tonight. I know it's only a pouting, and I didn't even catch it, but it has given me a bit of second wind that. The bites have definitely kind of started to pick up a little bit since that ebb tide has started to fully kind of set in. We had that pouting and that dogfish quite quickly after, and the rods have just all been re-rated and sent back in. Oh, but yeah, it's about 1 AM now, I think, 1 in the morning. And we've been fishing since, well, if you count when we started in Poole Harbour, we started there at about, what time was that, about midday? So yes, we've had a bit of driving and food stops in between, but we're not far off 13 hours into the session, so it's a long old day. Do you want to tell the nice ladies and gentlemen what you've got there?
I've got my best mate, a little doggy.
You couldn't come to Chesil without catching one. Another nice little pouting.
Pouting number 2.
Yeah. You're on the
pouting hunt tonight.
Yeah, you are.
That's just hooked as well.
Alright, dogfish number 4 for me. That's all I seem to have had tonight. But we've got about an hour or so left until pretty much the bottom of the tide, and when we decided we're going to pack up. So we'll fish this last stint just as hard as we have been. We put so much bait in the water tonight. Really good bait. We've had, you know, really good worm baits, fish baits, all sorts going out. Just hasn't happened so far. But let's make the most of this hour, get this dogfish back, and hopefully get some in. Right, well, we've been fishing for about 14 hours, I think, when we first set off in Poole Harbour now. Something like that. It's just gone 3 o'clock. Yeah, doesn't look like it's going to happen, and it's getting pretty nippy. I'm definitely running low on bait. I've had 4 dogfish. You've had
1 dog, 2 pouting.
2 pouting. So not the worst of a session I've had on Chesil, but definitely not the best. But yeah, I'm glad that we were out. We were saying earlier that, you know, there's been obviously a really good catch report from Ferrybridge. We know exactly what we would have said if we had stayed at home, not bothered to come out tonight. We would have seen someone catch a cracking bass on Ferrybridge and thought, like, oh, why haven't we tried it? Why don't we give it a go tonight? But we've given it a go. We've given it our best shot. We fished it hard, fished it proper. I don't think there's anything different I would have really done. Just been dogfish and pouting.
Nah, we've done everything that we could have. It's been tough going. It's one of them sessions, isn't it?
It's winter fishing. We are getting to that period of time where it's very much just trying to, you know, plough your way through the pouting, the whiting, and the dogfish to try and find something a bit more special. But that's what we've got coming up, and we'll face it and see what we can do.
Quite easily stand there, say 1 more cast, we'll do 1 more, we'll do 1 more.
Definitely.
But I just don't think it's going to happen.
No, we fished it all the way to pretty much the bottom of the tide. Like this year, when I have had cod, kind of 3 hours either side of low is the good period of time. But these 3 hours before, down to the bottom of the tide, yes, they've been fish, they've been bites, but there's been no codling and no eels as well. No conger tonight actually, which I'm quite surprised at.
Not even a strap.
No, and I was kind of targeting the conger, but not had anything at all. But there we go. Anyway, we're going to get packed up, head back to the cars. We've got about an hour or so drive home, if not a bit more, and get warmed up and get to bed. It is going to be a late one tonight. I will see you probably next time in Cornwall. I'm in Cornwall as of Monday for the Christmas week. Still not Christmas Day yet, but by the time this goes up it will have been. So yeah, I'll be in Cornwall. I'm planning to do a bit of fishing there, so hopefully that is a good session, and obviously I'll get that video up. But yeah, bye for now guys.
Have a good Christmas and Happy New Year.
We would have had it already, but
oh well.
I've
got it again.
Yeah, for next year.
Yeah.